Welcome to the Rational Rage. My name is Spiro, and we have a lot to talk about. But I wanted to read an email before we got started because I think some people are confused about what this show is about, and most importantly, what I'm about. So let's just get into this. All right, this one comes from Biden 2020. Yeah, I wonder who this guy is voting for. Anyway, trumpets, your days are numbered. I'm sure you meant Trumpers. Anyways, finally, we have a crisis on our hands that exposes Trump for the incompetent, weak leader he is. If deaths reach the projected numbers, there is no way he gets re-elected. All right, hold on. So let me get this straight. You're happy we're going through this shit? Are you saying you're hoping more people die so you and other pieces of shits like you can say, aha, talk about a fetus that should have been aborted. Jesus. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm pro choice, okay? Anyways, in November, if your racist, xenophobic, misogynistic show is still around, wow, okay, you'll be forced to either jump on the Biden bandwagon or shut down the channel. Nobody's paying attention, anyways, so just shut it down. Rest in peace, Trump. Biden 2020. P.S. Okay? There's a P.S. P.S. You know who I am. Good luck sleeping tonight while you try to figure out who I am. Okay, Batman, honestly, I really don't give a fuck who you are. Okay? But two things. First of all, you're definitely a piece of shit. There's no doubt about it. Okay? Second, you're very confused. I'm not sure when in my only two episodes, which nobody cares about, and hey, you know what? To be honest, I'm not breaking any records for followers or downloads, but you're paying attention. Anyways, yeah, you seem to be very confused because I'm not sure when in my only two episodes I ever gave any indication that I was any of those things that you accused me of. But I get it. You don't like what I'm saying, so you resort to the default tactic of every extreme left winger. And what do you know about where I lean politically? What do you really know? All right. But I'll go ahead and I'll fill everyone in. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention because this also serves as life advice, okay? I live my life by one rule. That is, live and let live. It's that simple. Okay, I'm a patriot and I love my country and all the freedoms and the opportunities that it affords me. That said, those freedoms and opportunities need to be protected. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that I live my life free and open minded. Okay, politically, yes, I do tend to lean more towards the right. If Democrats weren't always willing to jeopardize national security, fuck with my money, my rights, and if they had a candidate worth three shits, maybe I could be persuaded to lean more to the left. Who knows? But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I agree with everything or that I'm happy with what the Republicans are doing. In my opinion, both parties they're different but sort of the same shit. At the end of the day, guys, there's a bigger picture than just me and my needs. Okay, but hey, Biden 2020, who I supposedly know, go ahead and put your faith in a sexual predator with dementia. What if he wins? How's this guy gonna run a country? Listen, if Joe Biden wins, the next 4 years are gonna be like a weekend at Bernie's, okay? And if he gets reelected, which would not shock me from this fucking country, then we get the fucking sequel. All right? My own family and friends don't quite get where I stand. My liberal friends say I'm conservative, and my conservative friends say that I'm liberal. It is what it is. On this show, I just try to approach topics rationally and with common sense. That doesn't mean I'm right, okay? At the end of the day, this is an opinion show, guys, okay? I'm presenting my opinion. I'll do some research. I'll try to dig up some facts. But again, this is more of an opinion show. People don't like my opinions and want to have meltdowns and attack me for those opinions, then that's their problem, not mine. Anyways, so a few things came up this past week after the last episode. If you remember, I was talking about the hypocrites in Hollywood and the Second Amendment. More specifically, Alyssa Milano in her video where she urged us not to buy guns and ammo. Since then, two interesting stories came out. As you all know, the CEO of sports of Dick's Sporting Goods, Ed Stack, he decided, I think it was like last year, he decided to remove AR-15s from the Dick's Sporting Goods inventory. A lot of people, a lot of customers weren't too happy with that. So what does Mr. Stack do in response to that? You would think that in an effort to save his business, he'd scale back on his decision, but nope. He decides to pretty much stop selling any firearms altogether. It's funny because during this pandemic, two things happen here, okay? One, a lot of the anti-gun nuts finally realized what the Second Amendment was really about. And two, they found out that it's not as easy to get a gun as the liberal media made it seem, all right? And the second thing that happened is that as our country's economy is hurting, the firearm industry is booming. So talk about biting the hand that feeds you, all right? Dick's Sporting Goods, all right? Not Dick's, but Dick's Sporting Goods, sorry. Dick's had to furlough 40,000 employees. So I'm wondering, how many of those jobs could have been saved, if that asshole, Ed Stacks, acted a little more rational and not make the rash decision he made of just stop selling guns. Pretty much, man, this fucking guy's political ideals cost many people their fucking jobs, If I were sitting on the board of shareholders, I'm voting this motherfucker out effective immediately. So think about it. All sporting events have been suspended. You have no business, no revenue whatsoever without firearms. Listen, guys, I'm sorry to break it to you, to Mr. Stacks and all you out there who hate guns. But guns are in fact essential, and especially during these uncertain times. You cannot, as much as you want to believe it, you cannot defend your homes with fucking hugs. Sorry, you just can't. It ain't gonna happen. Not sure if that ever worked, but right now, you run the risk of contracting the fucking coronavirus, so hugs are a no-go. So look, stop listening to rich people who live in gated communities with security patrolling the premises, who post videos on Instagram and Twitter, about how they're with us in these uncertain times as they're sitting in their fucking hot tubs, shooting hoops on their personal basketball courts, reclining in their in-house movie theaters, or chilling on a fucking private island somewhere sipping pina coladas, okay? And, I'm not hating on them for being well off. Not at all, man. Good for them. But they're not with us, okay? Not when they don't have to risk life and limb for fucking toilet paper. And by the way, I still don't understand what the fuck that's about. But anyways, speaking of well off and out of touch, she's back in the news again. I'm talking about Alyssa Milano. If she had listened to me and kept her fucking mouth shut, she'd avoid the shitstorm she's been going through lately, all right? Listen, I have no personal grudge, nor do I harbor any ill feelings towards Alyssa Milano over her personal beliefs. I disagree with her, but that doesn't mean I want to see her hanging upside down and skinned and shit. But do you see how these Hollywood hypocrites operate? So what happened here? Alyssa Milano caught some very much deserved backlash over her defense of demented creep and Democratic presidential candidate, the former VP Joe Biden. If you remember, Alyssa was one of the most vocal when the Kavanaugh hearings were going on. She was also tweeting her heart out about President Trump, what a sexist pig he was, and so on. She was pretty much calling for the swift judgment and execution of Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump, and anyone who was white, straight, male, and most specifically conservative. Okay? All in the name of the Me Too movement, which has been hijacked by ultra feminists trying to push an agenda. But, I won't get into that shit right now. Okay? Anyways, so when Biden got accused of sexual misconduct, her tone completely changed. All right? And she sang a different tune. Here's what she had to say.
I endorsed Joe Biden.
Okay, good.
And there have been accusations against Joe about a sexual assault.
Right, and people were saying, "How can you do that?" Because you're.
I have not publicly said anything about this. If you remember, it kind of took me a long time to publicly say anything about Harvey as well.
Okay.
Because I believe that even though we should believe women, and that is an important thing, and what that statement really means is, like, for so long the go-to has been not to believe them. So really we have to sort of societally change that mindset to believing women, but that does not mean at the expense of not giving men their due process and investigating situations.
I like that.
And giving, it's got to be fair in both directions.
Okay.
So, I've been very vocal about Biden and my support for him. I've known him for a long time, and I did do my due diligence because part of it was that, and the article that sort of stood out to me was that Time's Up decided not to take the case. And so,
that was important to you. That meant, well, maybe there's more to this story here.
Right. I did my work, and I spoke to Time's Up, and I just don't feel comfortable throwing away a decent man that I've known for 15 years.
Yep.
In this time of complete chaos without there being a thorough investigation.
Yep.
I'm sure that mainstream media would be jumping all over this as well if
we weren't in a pandemic. If there was more credible, if there was evidence
if they found more evidence or through their investigation. So I'm just kind of staying quiet about it. And because I'm staying quiet about it,
you were getting dragged on Twitter by Bernie Bros.
Right. They're calling me hypocritical for and saying that I'm a fake feminist and all of this stuff. And I'm still trying desperately to stand back and be sort of objective about this because I don't want this to, I sent the Me Too tweet over 2 years ago. I never thought that it would be something that was going to destroy innocent men, right? Like, we don't want that to happen either. So we have to find this balance in the Believe Women movement and also giving men their due process and, realizing that we're destroying lives if we publicly don't go through the right steps in order to find out if an accusation is credible or not.
Okay, this is where you stop. Okay, this is where you quit being an activist and finally ride off into the sunset. You've got zero credibility. Okay, you're done. When your homegirl, I'm talking about Rose McGowan, who I believe is actually crazier than she is, flips on you and calls you a fraud, you're done. You're fucking done, straight up. You know what? Let's read the fucking tweet. Let me pull this tweet up from her homegirl. Here we go. All right. This is from Rose McGowan at Rose McGowan. And she states about Alyssa Milano. You're a fraud. This is about holding the media accountable. You go after Trump and Kavanaugh saying, believe victims. You are a lie. You have always been a lie. The corrupt DNC is in on the smear job of Tara Reid. So are you. Shame. And, she retweeted Alyssa Milano's tweet, which was, I explained my silence on the allegations against Joe Biden in this clip. And it's the clip that I just played for you guys. All right. So anyways, man, she's done, man. I mean, straight up. Put a fork in her. She's done. But listen, if you want to stay in the public eye, you want to stay in the limelight, you can come do the show with me, It'd be great to have someone to go back and forth with, come, just come work for me. Or should I say, work with me, so that I don't come off as misogynistic. But isn't it funny how there's a double standard? But it goes both ways, The Republicans are equally guilty of this double standard bullshit, whatever. Anyways, so with all this shit going on, we're still neck deep in all this COVID madness, and some people still don't get it. Look at all these idiots all over the country turning up in mobs to pretty much protest their health. Seriously, the attitude here is like that of a spoiled child, and to be honest, we Americans are fucking spoiled. Very fucking spoiled. People are acting like we're being told to stay home, like we're being grounded, And now people are lashing out the way a teenage girl would if she weren't allowed to go to the fucking party. Like, what the fuck? Do these fucking morons who, by the way, judging from these pictures, I mean, are these pictures from protests or from fucking Comic-Con? These jerk-offs look like a bunch of Call of Duty cosplayers. Listen, I'm no fan of the gov, okay? But right now, we're facing a global pandemic that has claimed many, many lives. That said, many of you motherfuckers don't seem to get it, okay? You're calling it fascist, but you're putting people's health at risk. So the government has to step in. The fuck? You want to go back to work, and that's admirable. That's fucking great, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to go back to work because they're either going crazy at home, they need to pay bills. I fucking get it. You want to go back to work, but what happens if you fucking get sick and you get somebody else sick? Odds are someone's gonna die. But here's something interesting. When I was researching articles and looking at pictures, I could actually count on one hand the amount of people who actually wore masks. Listen, it's your right to protest, but do you not know what the fuck is going on? At least take fucking precautions. And yeah, according to what I'm seeing, the majority, if not all of whom I'm seeing, are fucking Trump supporters. Does that even matter? No. But I shit on liberals all the time for protesting everything like spoiled fucking children, but now conservatives are proving they're snowflakes as well. Okay? The guns and camouflage don't really do a good job of covering that shit up. Okay? No. Do you see the girl holding up the sign that reads "Defy Fascist Lockdown"? Really? And while I agree that we didn't react aggressively enough at the beginning, things could be a lot worse considering, okay? Have you guys seen that other girl with that sign that reads "My Body, My Choice"? Like she's attending a fucking pro-choice rally. Maybe she thinks she's being clever by using liberal speak, but it doesn't come off that way, She looks more like a fucking fool than anything else, I'm looking at the fucking picture right now. Take your fucking pimple-riddled ass home, okay? Jesus Christ. Fucking Acne Annie over here. Anyways, let's read some more emails. Let me see here. This one is from Dimitri. I understand people want to support local businesses, but now is a good time to stop eating takeout and just cook in the kitchen. Okay? It's already nasty without a virus. Imagine a kitchen now with a virus going around. You know what, man? You make a good point. I've worked many jobs in my time. Some of these jobs have given me access to where a lot of restaurants cook. And I gotta say, man, I do eat less takeout these days. It says here, economically, look how it took only days to go down more than 20% compared to other crashes like 2008 that took about a year. Also, that stimulus plan is really made to stabilize the market more than come to the aid of people. The SEC is investigating some politicians that might have used data from China before the sell-off to capitalize from it before it happened, because the banks didn't really know how a pandemic would affect the economy. There was a lot of fear. Okay, yeah, you know what, man? I'm not the biggest conspiracy theorist, but do I write them off? No. I believe there's something to them, whether it's, 100% truth or even a fucking fraction, These theories come from something, from some form of reality. Dimitri, thanks for the email. Thank you for listening. Oh, by the way, people, we're gonna change up the email. It's no longer gonna be rationalrage.info@gmail.com. From now on, it's gonna be rationalrage.mailbag@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, if you have any opinions, you want to share anything with me and the listeners, send your email to rationalrage.mailbag@gmail.com. Okay, this one comes from Aralberto Garcia from the West Coast, California. Good evening, brother. When it comes to this current situation, there's what's being seen and said on every form of media, what you hear on the radio, and what you see out in the streets of your city or town. You see these irresponsible assholes not following the rules of social distancing or the shelter in place. The world government has tightened up its leash on the populace. The true character of people is being exposed. You've seen how weak-minded, selfish, and pathetic humans really are. There are those who've sucked it the fuck up and continue to go to work because they are essential to the daily operation of their city or town. Yeah, man, I totally agree there, man. There's a lot of people who are just not good at coping or adapting. Okay, I'm not saying you should have gone to the military, but I'll tell you this, man. The military, that's one of the main things that it taught me, that it trained me, and that is to adapt and to cope. Okay, moving along. I've heard snowflakes, anarchists, and those who are fed up with the idiots not following guidelines calling for martial law. As a Marine, never former, trust me, you do not want the military in charge of your daily life, especially when you got trigger-happy, fresh out of boot camp shitheads ready to unload a full clip into you, just because you're not doing as you're told. Agreed, brother. Agreed. Why is this working for Asian countries? China is a communist country. Asians by far are more disciplined than Western countries. America, after all, is the home of the brave and free. It's no surprise that Americans are being rebellious when a government who hasn't put America first in a very long time will give these rules the middle finger. I get it, brother. Man. And that also, relates to what I said earlier. We as Americans are fucking spoiled, okay? And that's why a lot of our citizens are now acting like spoiled fucking children. Okay, moving along. Martial law will violate the very Constitution that many have bled and died for. I understand that people are depressed, fed up, bored, worried about the petty shit they deem necessary to survive. But all they have to do is stay the fuck inside. This too shall end and pass, but at what cost? People will either get the cure shot in them, or they will take it in the form of a pill. People won't pay attention to the fine print that'll make pharma liability free of any side effect it'll cause. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay the fuck inside. Alberto Garcia. Brother, I agree with you 100%. Great email. stay the fuck inside. This shit'll pass. This shit might have passed if people weren't so stupid, if people weren't so fucking mentally weak to the point where they're fucking running about, no fucking masks, no fucking gloves, not taking the proper necessary precautions to ensure they don't spread this fucking virus. But people are still getting sick. People are still dying, you know. They're reporting that numbers are down, but you know, that doesn't mean that because they're down that we're in the fucking clear. People are still getting sick. People are still dying. I'll say that again. People are still getting sick and people are still dying. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, we don't want martial law, okay? We don't like being told what to do, okay? But sometimes we need somebody to step in, not necessarily in the form of a soldier or a Marine holding a fucking rifle to our face, telling us to get in our houses, to stay inside. But, you know, sometimes we do need the government to lay down some law and tell everybody and make it official and tell us all to stay in our fucking homes. Okay? Limit your trips to, you know, the fucking market or to the fucking gas station or, you know, listen, if you limit your trips to the market, everything else will fall in place because the market and maybe the fucking hospital, which you should be avoiding at all costs, are the only two essential places for people who are non-essential employees to be going to. So let's do our best, guys, okay? Stay home. Don't come out unless you absolutely need to, and this whole shit will fucking pass eventually. The faster it passes, the faster we can get back to some form of normality, you know? Personally, I don't think things will be the same after this, but, you know, life goes on. Whatever shape that's gonna take, whatever the new normal will be, we don't know. But life goes on. As long as you're fucking breathing, as long as you're loving and being loved, and you're living, that's all that matters. Okay, so let's make the right choices, all right? Stay inside, stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. It would be greatly appreciated if you can subscribe to me on YouTube. That's Handsome Reaper TV. I'm also on Podbean. Just look for Rational Rage. The Facebook page, just look up Rational Rage. Subscribe, share, spread the word, you know. Also, you can send me emails at rationalrage.mailbag@gmail.com. Send your questions, send your opinions, your thoughts. You want to let me know how much you like the show. You want to tell me how much the fucking show sucks, how much I suck. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me your time. Stay safe out there. Stay alert. Stay alive. Rational Rage over and out.